5. The elevator, a smoke box, gray and thick. Buck and Danny puffed and blew everlasting cigs. Thought when the doors opened, the smoke would rush out. But instead, it became a still cloud trapped in a steel cube. Cigarette smoke ain't supposed to be no wool blanket. Ain't supposed to be no blizzard, no snowy TV. Smoke, like spirit, can be thick, but ain't supposed to be nothing solid enough to hold me. I fanned and coughed, expecting whoever was waiting to wait for the next one. Who wants to get on an elevator full of smoke? What if it wasn't really full of smoke? Still, who wants to get on an elevator with a kid bugging, swatting and choking on the invisible thick? They probably think what you probably think right now. I took a step back to make room for the silhouette to move through fog, to step in. Danny and Buck stood behind me, close enough to feel, but I felt no breath. 9:08 a.m. Two large hands, the largest I'd ever seen, rushed through the cloud, hard and fast, snatched fistfuls of my shirt, yoking me by the neck, holding me there until the elevator door closed. Could barely breathe already and could breathe less and could see nothing behind this blanket of gray. Then in one swift motion, the hands released me and slapped me into a headlock. The kind that Sean used to put me in. The kind that all little brothers hate. I could hear laughing, like being held underwater by playful waves crashing down on my head, laughing, laughing, laughing me under. How do you tell water ain't nothing funny about drowning? When I was finally let up, I looked for Buck, for Danny, for help. They moved to the corner, chuckling, blurry, puffing away. What the hell? I yelped, one hand on my neck, one hand on my tucked, untucked tail. What you reaching for? And why you reaching for it? The asshole who tried to mash the apple in my neck into sauce taunted. Nephew, 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 he chanted. After all this time, you ain't learned to fight back yet? There are so many pictures of Uncle Mark in our house, hanging on the wall, hanging on the block, posing with my father, his shorter younger brother, dressed blade sharp, suits, jewelry, cigarette tucked behind ear, camera ready, fly like Sean, foreshadowing the flash. Uncle Mark, I let my hand fall to my side, swallowed hard. Am I going insane? Come here, kid, Uncle Mark said. Let me look at you. I stepped closer. Taller than me, taller than everyone. 6'4", 6'5", 6 feet deep. Rested his hands on my shoulders, the weight of him bending me at the knees. Look like your damn daddy, he said. Just like him. My mother told me 2 stories about Uncle Mark. Number 1, he videotaped everything with a camera his mother, my grandmother, bought him for his 18th birthday. Dance battles, gang fights, block parties. But he dreamed of making a movie. Script idea. Boy, Mickey. No game, no girls, meets girl, Jessie, the young girlfriend of boy Mickey's landlord. Girl Jessie teaches boy Mickey everything he needs to know about girls. How to impress them, how to treat them. But boy Mickey uses what he learns to get girl Jessie to fall in love with him. But her boyfriend, boy Mickey's landlord, finds out and kicks him and girl Jessie out of the building. So they're in love, but they're homeless, but they're happy. Right. Casting of the worst, stupidest movie ever. Boy, Mickey, to be played by Uncle Mark's little brother, my father, Mikey. Girl, Jessie, to be played by the younger sister of a girl Uncle Mark used to date, Shari, my mother. Uncle Mark pulled me in for a hug, but how you hug what's haunting you? And it's weird to know a person you don't know, and at the same time, not know a person you know. You know? 9:08 a.m. Why you here? I asked Uncle Mark, taking my turn, my time, looking him up and down. Sadness split his face like cold breeze on chapped lip after attempting to smile. I guess he expected me to be excited to see him. And I was, sorta, but still. With his hand, he brushed down the front of his shirt, smoothing out wrinkles, straightening himself out. Pants stopped just at the top of his dress shoes tied in perfect bows, leather shiny, uncreased like he ain't been walking. Brushed and brushed down his chest to stomach, down his thighs, then squatting, dipped a finger in his mouth and scrubbed the toe of his shoe, a smudge not there. A better question, he said, eyes up at me, is why are you here? Random thought number 2. Always, always, always be skeptical of a person who answers a question by asking a question. Usually, it's a setup. Anagram number 3. Cool equals loco. What you mean? I asked, trying to avoid having to talk about the coldness in my heart and the heater in my waist. What do I mean? He stood up. What do I mean? He repeated, putting hands together, fingertips touching, cracking what sounded like all the knuckles in the world. Listen, kid, don't play me and don't play with me. It's best you turn it loose before I tighten you up. Okay, I begged, trying to hold him off, trying to avoid being knotted up again. Look, they killed Sean last night, Uncle Mark, and today you woke up ready to make things right? I nodded. And the reason why is because for the first time in your life, you realized, or at least you think, you could kill someone, right? I nodded. Right? He said louder. Right. But to explain myself, I said, the rules are the rules. Uncle Mark huffed, closed his eyes. I wonder if he was thinking about the rules. He knew them like I knew them. Passed to him, passed them to his little brother, passed to my older brother, passed to me. The rules have always ruled. Past, present, future, forever. Uncle Mark squeezed his lips like he was trying to rip them off, then opened his eyes. Okay, Will, he said, all serious. Let's set the scene. What you mean, set the scene? I mean, let's play it out. How this whole thing is gonna go down. Play it out like a movie, Uncle Mark explained. We'll go back and forth. I'll start from the top. The scene. Will stands over dead brother Sean, 2 holes in his chest, blood all over the ground. Will takes his mother inside. She cries. He looks for his brother's gun. Will finds the gun, lies down, and thinks about the rules: no crying, no snitching, and always get revenge. The next day, he decides to find who he knows killed his brother, a guy named Riggs. Will gets in the elevator, goes down to the lobby, walks outside, past his brother's blood on the concrete. He continues for 9 blocks, gets to Riggs' house, sees Riggs, pulls the gun out, and I got stuck. Couldn't say nothing else. Couldn't say it. Hoped Uncle Mark would say, cut. But he didn't. The scene continued. Go ahead. Finish it. Up until that point, things were running smoothly, but this stupid last part got me caught up. Finish it, Uncle Mark demanded. Danny whimpered. Buck razzed. Okay, I said, trying to calm Uncle Mark down. Will pulls the gun out and I stalled. And my mouth dried out. Words, phlegm trapped in my throat like an allergic reaction to the thought of it all. The scene completed. And shoots, Uncle Mark finished it for me, said it slowly, dragging out the shh. Then I could finally painfully hack it up. And shoots. For the record, this movie would have been better than that stupid one he was trying to make when he was alive, that's for sure. Maybe not as happy, but definitely better. Story number 2 about Uncle Mark. Uncle Mark lost the camera his mother got him. The one he recorded dance battles and gang fights and block parties in the beginning of his corny ass movie on. Couldn't afford another one. Options? Could have asked grandma again, but that would have been pointless. Could have stolen one, but he wasn't about to be sweating, so he wasn't about to be running. Could have gotten a job, but working was another one of those things Uncle Mark just wasn't about to be doing. So he did what a lot of people do around here. His plan, to sell for one day. One day. Uncle Mark took a corner, pockets full of rocks to become rolls, future finance, and in 1 hour had enough money to buy a new camera, but decided to stick at it just through the end of the day, that's all. Just through the end of the day. I'm sure you know where this is going. He held that corner for a day, for a week, for a month. Full out pusher, money making pretty boy, target for a ruthless young hustler whose name mom can never remember. That guy took the corner from Uncle Mark, snatched it right from under him, and it wasn't peaceful. Everybody ran, ducked, hid, tucked themselves tight, blew their own eardrums, gouged their own eyes, did what they'd all been trained to, pretended like yellow tape was some kind of neighborhood flag that don't nobody wave but always be flapping in the wind. Uncle Mark should have just bought his camera and shot his stupid movie after the first day. Unfortunately, he never shot nothing ever again, but my father did. Anagram number 4. Cinema equals Iceman. Random thought number 3. Not sure what an Iceman is, but it makes me think of bad dudes. Cold-blooded. 9:08 a.m. So anyway, after I said it, and shoots, it was like the words came out and at the same time went down into me and chewed on everything inside as if I had somehow swallowed my own teeth and they were sharper than I'd ever known. Meanwhile, Uncle Mark reached into his shirt pocket, pulled out 2 cigarettes. Great, more smoke. I hope the second one wasn't for me. I don't smoke. Shit is gross. Plus, people who living, who real, like me, ain't allowed to smoke in elevators. And what happens next in this movie? Uncle Mark asked, tucking one cig behind his ear, booger rolling the other between his fingers. Nothing. That's it. The end, I shrugged. He positioned the cig in the corner of his mouth, patted his pockets for fire. The end, he murmured, looking at Buck, motioning for a light. It's never the end, Uncle Mark said, all chuckle. He leaned toward Buck. Never. Buck struck a match, and the elevator came to a stop again.